Annurag needs no introduction. He's a media mogul, founder of Businessworld. And so, Annurag, what does courage mean to you?
He's just a God. He's always happy. So that's courage. Courage is sometimes dealing with emotions.
How was your childhood? Where were you brought up?
Yeah, you could get a lot of tomatoes and 5 rupees in those days.
Any instance of your own path where you felt that you finally were able to muster up the courage to do something which people didn't expect from you?
Richer, I'm not talking of money. I'm talking richer in experiences, quality of relationships, in quality of health, in the quality of work you do.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to yet another session of Courage Talks. Courage Talks is a podcast which I recently started, which is an outcome of my book, which Against All Odds, which is my father's biography. And going by my father's story, I thought it makes sense to try and talk to more people and get stories of courage in their own daily lives. And today we have a very special speaker, Annurag Batra. Annurag needs no introduction. He's a media mogul, founder of Businessworld, and his achievements is a long list. And I would leave to that. Hi, Annurag. How are you?
Good. It's so good to be talking to you, Hetal. And only correction that I didn't start Businessworld, I acquired it 9.5 weeks back. I started Exchange for Media.
Right.
I'm not the founder of Businessworld. Avik Sarkar, Arup Sarkar founded it. I'm just lucky that I got it 9 years back.
And you got it to the place where it is today, right? So
No, long way to go, long way. Genuinely, I mean it. There's a lot to improve. There's a long way to go, and I really mean it.
Wonderful.
We've improved, but there is a long way to go.
Wonderful. So, Annurag, what does courage mean to you? What comes to your mind when you talk about courage?
Courage is not just for soldiers, fire, who are very brave, by the way, when they're fighting people in the armed forces. And about 5 weeks back, I was at a book launch event of Captain Achilles Saxena and his wife. I wrote a book on him, and it's called Nation First. And I shared with my friends in the room, in the hall, that I did clear the NDA when I was 30 years younger. In 1993, I cleared the NDA.
Wonderful.
So, of course, the men in uniform are very brave. I think nothing, and they pay with the ultimate sacrifice. And I think we should be more grateful to them, and we are in our own ways. But, courage is I want to give you an example. In the building I live, there is a guard who comes in the night.
Mm-hmm.
He must be 75. I don't know his exact age, but he's a little younger than my dad, who's 84. So he could be between 75 and 80, more than 70. Actually.
Right.
Now he has 3 daughters. His one daughter's husband passed away. He looks after his daughters and daughters' children. He's just a guard. He's always happy. So that's courage.
Yeah.
Courage is sometimes dealing with emotions.
Mm-hmm.
And life shrinks or expands in proportions to one's courage. And there is another saying which says, without courage, wisdom bears no fruit.
Yeah, very true.
So really, courage is about sometimes just being able to get out of the bed when something emotionally is pulling you down. Courage is being patient sometimes.
Yeah.
Courage is forgiving people. Courage is when things don't go exactly to your planned time.
Yeah.
Hoping and praying that there are miracles. Expecting a miracle is also courage.
Very true. Very true. You touched upon a lot of instances, and that's what the whole God talk is all about. Before we proceed more deeper into courage, would love to take us through your childhood. How was your childhood? Where were you brought up?
Yeah, I try and think a bit about my childhood. I do. I'll be honest. I do. And, most people think I only work, which is true. Mostly working. I had a happy childhood. Let me tell you about. I had a normal childhood. I played cricket. There was no mobile phones. If I told my father I'm going and playing cricket or football in a park, I was there. And if it was an exam, my father came and took me by the collar and brought me back home. So I had a normal. My parents were academicians. My parents spent a lot of time with me, with my older sister. The paucity of nothing. It was an abundant mindset. without knowing the word abundant in the sense that I know it now. Everything was regimented, calibrated, was in short supply in terms of resources. It was fun. It was a good, I grew up in old Gurgaon. So every 2-3 months, I'd look forward to coming to Delhi to go to Roshan the Quality in Karol Bagh, to go to Rupak stores to get a little bit dry fruits. Limited pocket money, to come once a year to buy books in Old Delhi, in Daryaganj.
Yeah.
In Nai Sadak, where the bookshops are there. Eat the jalebi there. There used to be first time in, I think, 1990, I must eaten a gobi ka samosa. Food was always big.
Yeah, was it?
I grew up in the old Gurgaon where food was very big, there were no fat, there was no gluten free. Yes, that. So you ate what you ate.
Yes.
And so it was a good life. You read a lot. My
Yeah.
parents got a lot of newspapers, magazines. I have an older sister who's very bright, so always academic pressure. But a happy life, very good parent. I look back, I am very proud of my parents. I don't want to change most of it, but one or two things that I won't mention, I would like to change.
Right.
There are things that you feel, by and large, honestly, I feel my parents are the best parents I could have hoped. I thank God. They're very honest, self-made, very content. They have very strong views on things, which I think they can be mellowed sometimes.
Right.
That's the only thing I would say they can do different. But
Right.
it was a happy childhood.
Very interesting.
Cousins would come in summers. I remember we'd get 5 rupees. We'd go to the lanes, buy tomatoes. You could get a lot of tomatoes in 5 rupees in those days. Lots of them. Put them, salt over them, eat. There was like simple things. It wasn't.
Yeah. You find beauty in simplicity, right?
Yeah, these days we have so much. And sometimes you still feel you need more. So I think it was a very beautiful time. I think really honestly, it was a very happy and fulfilling time. And in some way, whatever little one has achieved does there is a contribution of the childhood.
Right. Talking about your parents, would you want to take one instance from your parents' life where you were inspired by them, by their act of courage? उन्होंने कुछ ऐसा किया हो जिससे you and of course you have strong memories of that.
My mother used to get up early in the morning. So both my parents worked in the middle class. So my mother would get up at 5:30 a.m., prepare food for all of us, and then take a 6 a.m. bus, go to Sona. She used to be a school teacher, then she became a principal. I remember as a 6 or 7-year-old, I can't be sure, but between 6 and 8, I once or twice went with her, and it was a tough routine. My father would help my mother with whatever he could. One beautiful thing, I've turned vegetarian now, a couple of days back. I keep doing that. I hope I stay vegetarian fully. But my father till today is a pure vegetarian, and my mother is strict non-vegetarian. Like today when I was sending her food, she said, tomorrow I want to eat mutton. Just an hour back. And my father would go to the a certain meat shop in Old Gurgaon, the best below the masjid. And my father I would go with my dad. Sunday, go grocery shopping. So, I think in being incredibly disciplined and doing that life is also big courage. So my parents were very disciplined, very hardworking. So sincerity, hard work, commitment, all that comes from them.
So you mentioned about your courage, and you mentioned about your parents, and you mentioned about your childhood. Any instance of your own path where you felt that you finally were able to muster up the courage to do something which people didn't expect from you, you didn't expect?
Honestly, I don't think too much कि people क्या सोच रहे हैं, क्या है. I have my own, never wanted to be an entrepreneur, never planned for one. The campus job, accidentally started one company. accidentally acquired another. Accidentally, a lot of things happen. Mostly all good. But I don't think I'm very courageous. Honestly, I definitely feel I'm very lucky and blessed, and I'm not being modest. But yes, sometimes, you're talking to me, and on a day I'm today I've been very thoughtful, circumspect. Normally I don't have time. I'm running,
I've seen that.
working. Today I had some time, last 2-3 hours. One from 7:30 to 8:30. The reason I said 8:40 to, I watched GPS by Farid Zakaria. Try and not miss it. It's an amazing show. It's my favorite show. And between that, from 5 to 7, I had almost 2 hours. 5:45 till about 7:30, I had almost 2 hours. And I thought a lot about life, and I think sometimes just doing normal things is courageous. See, these days we have expectations of you. Everyone has expectations of you in a good way, not in a bad way.
Yeah.
So sometimes you build a roadmap for yourself, and you want to. So I'm very, very blessed. So while I was doing little overthinking for about half an hour, then I said, I'm Annurag, you're very blessed, so just be grateful to God. Improve whatever you need to improve, and just enjoy every day. So I think courage is doing simple things with a lot of tough.
Yeah.
Not getting daunted by challenges, always staying hopeful. And if you are brave and courageous, you will prosper. Prosper is not like money terms, just in being happy, in being abundant, in being joyful, in being cheerful. And sometimes, we all feel sad. To say you don't feel sad ever. I felt sad today. I had tears in my eyes 1.5 hours back. I was thinking about something. I have, at Spotify, I have a song that as a child I listened. It's from a movie that you would remember. It's called The Burning.
Of course, yeah.
He has the meet, Asma.
Yeah.
I listened to that song, it brought back. I listened to bhajan. I listened to a song I like, and I'm back. And, don't lose heart. Ever. I think if you just don't lose heart, stay hopeful, give it your best.
Yeah.
Let God do the magic.
We see courage at the workspace as well. So, having been part of a large organization, I'm sure you would have come across various instances where someone from your workspace would have displayed some courage.
Well, there have been lots of issues in life there, but it's okay. See, courage does not always roar. Sometimes courage is the quiet voice at the end of the saying, I'll try again tomorrow. So it's about things that you couldn't achieve today, but you still have the courage to try
one more shot.
Yeah. And sometimes, you're expecting something to happen. It's perfect. It gets delayed. There's tremendous pressure on you. Do you plan your life? So, there are things like that sometimes, there are situations you want to deal with. So you want to just not get discouraged. And I keep telling to myself, it's often the last key in the bunch that opens the lock.
Any physical trauma that you've gone through in life?
Luckily not. Except losing hair. Luckily not. Then I feel I should be. In between, I was very fit. And I'm now back to I'm overweight, so I want to lose weight. I want to walk. I should be walking more. In between, I started and I'm not consistent. So I want to walk. So luckily, life has been happy. Yeah. So, I keep making efforts. Be hopeful. Keep hustling.
Right.
And be working hard. There is not some very complicated stuff.
True. You use one word, discipline, and at the workspace, many times, people have those ethical dilemma where, what they want to do is correct, but, it requires a lot of courage to stay when people around you are, taking the easy way out.
Sometimes as a boss, as somebody who's founded companies, you have a certain viewpoint on things.
Yeah.
And you see the other person is not doing it and then they're getting irritated. See, one is to stay calm. I can't say I'm 100% calm, but I've mastered to get to 90-95% of times being calm, which is a lot. Even if somebody is not agreeing with you. So, compassion, being empathetic, understanding where that person is. It's not easy, okay? People say, I don't believe in. it's not easy. Sometimes I still get irritated in a meeting. Sometimes you still have the tendency to not listen to the other person.
Yeah.
But as I said, I've got to 90%. There's still 10%. So I think, there are people dilemmas. Sometimes I wouldn't call it ethical dilemma. Sometimes what is the balance in between being human and being business-like? How do you achieve that balance?
Yeah.
And I just read this book, and I keep saying that I've been on the receiving end of kindness of lots of people. And I really mean it with absolute sense of gratitude to God and to my parents and to my wife and a lot of people who helped me in my journey. I read this book called Humankind by Rutger Bergman, and I really loved it. And then I read his first book just on Monday. I was traveling to Bangalore and I read Utopia for Realists, which is also about a utopian world where everyone is kind to everyone. I think people are very, very kind. You just have to be keeping your eyes and hearts open to see their kindness.
That's right.
People are kind in more ways than I. So I think I have been very, very blessed, lucky. And I'm courageous in the sense that God helps me. So I don't give up. God helps. We give too much credit to us. I'm a Hindu, I really believe in prarabdha, preordained, predestined. But God does it.
Yeah.
ऐसा हुआ है ना तो through हो रहा है.
That's
We're
true.
only, so I really believe, because sometimes I make so much effort on something, it doesn't happen. And sometimes it just happens. You try for a friend and something doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Then you try for another friend, it happens. So clearly there is something more to than your own effort. There is their destiny, there is God's wish. I don't know what that is. So I think we give ourselves too much credit. Yes, we can make efforts. We should, and we do.
Yeah.
But I think there is something higher power that makes things happen.
Right.
So you got to keep giving your efforts. You got to keep believing tomorrow will be better than today. And you got to have friends you can call, you can text, you can talk to. Sometimes we all feel little, I won't use the word lonely, but isolated.
Yeah.
So
Sideline. Yeah.
I wouldn't say sideline, but isolated in the sense that we want, we see a vision of ourselves, of our lives in a certain way, and we may be close to that. But sometimes, at least I'm a perfectionist. I want it exactly like. So sometimes you feel like, why is not happening?
Yeah.
I don't know what is the right word, but so you should be able to have a friend who you can talk honestly.
Right.
Go to a temple, sleep well, read a book, go out with family, spend time with friends, go to people you like.
Yeah.
It'll cheer you up. Go to people who are wise. And what do we have to complain? I mean, honestly, sometimes I have so much going for me, but I still feel this could be better. Both in personal and professional life, but there is so much better that we have to acknowledge and be grateful about. So courage is just not giving up. Courage is also sometimes knowing when to give up.
Of course.
And I'm not talking from a cliched standpoint. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the absolute. But courage is still being kind to people, whether they are not kind to you or not. Sometimes it's difficult to forget. And somebody, but I think you got to forgive and forget for your own sake.
Of course, that's true. But that's
For your own sake.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Nothing is easy in life. Recording a podcast is not easy. Nothing is easy. It takes effort.
Yeah.
It takes energy.
Right.
It takes... life is a trade-off, And so you got to make the best of what you have. Do things for others. Do things for your wife, children, parents, mother, whatever, friends. Gift a book. I bought 50 books today to give.
I'm going to subscribe one.
So we can get more books. So, and my wife told me that you already have so many books. You bought 50 more. Why don't you gift the ones that you already have? I said, okay, take some from that. And
Yeah. That's also not...
I had too many, but books are never too many.
Of course. That's true. No, I think that's true. And you touched upon a very good point.
And I tell you, Hitai,
Yeah.
This happened with you second time. I've rearranged things, but every time it's been better whenever. Today I was in low energy zone in the evening. I must tell you, I was very overthinking mode, reflective mode, very calm because I'm always busy. I'm never alone. I have people around.
Yeah.
And I wanted to postpone it today. I said, no, Annurag, you can't be just selfish thinking of your own mood. You have to think of other people. And I think talking to you has cheered me up. Let me tell you, and it's not, as I said, sometimes you want certain outcomes in certain timeline.
Yeah.
And when they are delayed, it does put pressure on, especially in a business sense. Also, parents are getting older, kids are growing old, also bigger, so they are becoming very independent, which is good.
Yeah.
But they're busy.
Yeah. That's true.
It's good. They have their own life to live, their own experiences to have. So, you tend to think about future. So the trick is to be courageous and not to think too much of the future. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It is difficult because you tend to plan. But enjoy today. Hopefully tomorrow will be nicer.
Very true. Yeah. No, one important point which you touched was it takes courage not to do something as well, right? And I recently finished a book called Quit by Annie Duke, which is all about quitting, right? It's all about knowing when to stop when you know that continuing your effort or energy behind a project is just going to conserve, take up more of your energy.
People also.
Yeah.
Sometimes you cut off people. I'm a people's person in and out. Relationships are everything to me. I really say. But sometimes you will have to, if somebody is doing a behavior who is not ethical or is toxic or is not keeping in boundaries or is not aligned with your own vision and is spite of or is a fake friend.
Yeah. In fact, I'm always open if friends are distancing away. I know that they are making room for some new friends to come in, right? Instead of getting stuck in a relationship.
Luckily, all 99.99% of my friends are still friends with me. I met a college friend, my closest friend. He came in the morning, coffee together, spent 3 hours. He wanted some guidance for his son. I met him first in 1990 in my engineering school. He was my batchmate.
Okay.
And, he's my friend for 33 years. I've gone to his home in Nanda. I've lived in his home. So it felt good today in the morning.
Yeah.
Luckily, most of my relationships are there. And, even if they're not perfect relationships, I really cherish them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really, 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 really. And so these, enjoy life. But yes, being sad, sometimes you will be sad.
Yeah. That's part of life.
Accept that, accept it's human, let it pass.
Yeah.
Live through it. There's nothing. You're sad. You're like, you'll be happy too. Sadness comes and be happiness.
Right.
And I don't believe, I've never been depressed. Yes, there are low energy moments. I slept well last night, so it's not about, I normally have low energy when I haven't slept well. Like Friday night, I didn't sleep well. Like Wednesday night, I didn't sleep well. I was in a hotel in Bangalore and their air conditioning honked off. They gave me a cooler, they gave me a fan in my room.
Oh my God.
They charge me extra for the fan though. I don't want to tell you because I don't want to defame the hotel. I stay a lot in that.
That's
and
true.
they're normally very nice. They're normally very, very nice. So, it can happen. So it's not, but I think you would realize that people are the most important thing. Relationships are most important.
Yeah.
Work is, but relationships are more important as you grow older.
Yeah.
With your family members, with your intimate friends, with people who you meet in your line of business who become very close friends.
Yeah.
So, luckily I have a good support system. So I pick up the phone and I'm rarely alone. I'm rarely alone, except when I sleep. I'm surrounded by people. I meet people.
Yeah.
I'm working. I think in a long time I got 2-3 hours when I was.
Oh, wonderful. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Annurag, and you touched upon so many important facets of your own personal life, your childhood, your background, your parents, and it's been a great experience. Any final words, any words of wisdom you want to share for the listeners?
I don't know. I have a long way to go. I can only say that, the journey is more important than the destination. Though I also sometimes focus on the destination. I will not lie. I will not, there is a destination in my mind, right? But I try and enjoy the journey. I try and be grateful for what I have. I try and enjoy the relationships I have. Try and enjoy the time I get with the ones I love. I love. I definitely love my work. So, clearly, I spend a lot of time at my work. Count the blessings you have. You'll attract more blessings. Be grateful. Forgive yourself. I ate a very big vegan burger just now. Really must be good for two. I ate it for the first time 10 days back in Spain on my mind. So I was guilty. The two things that drive human being most are vanity and guilt.
Yeah.
I learned this in a movie called Devil's Advocate.
Yeah. Quite famous one. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's true. When I heard the dialogue, it's true. So try and make right choices. Whereas food, I'm getting older. I need to lose weight. I need to be fitter. Sleep. Good thing I do is I sleep enough. Everything I do is around my sleep. Stop taking very late night, very early morning.
Right.
Forgive people, be harmonious. Accept things as they are. Make efforts to make them better.
Yeah.
And go out in the nature. Hetal, there are vitamin B12 is less because it comes from animals.
Yeah. That's right.
If children don't have paucity of B12 because they go out in the mud. In the mud. It's funny.
Yeah.
I was sunlight, just exposure to sunlight. So I got to do more of that, read more because I really enjoy reading. I enjoy writing, write more. So do the things that give me joy. If doing this Courage podcast gives you a joy, you should do more of it.
Right.
There's no purpose of life. As somebody asked Mother Teresa, what is the purpose of life? She said the purpose of life is to have a life of purpose. But honestly, build your own purpose.
Yeah.
Whatever, everyone's journey is unique. I believe everyone is perfect the way they are. Whoever it is, even if we may not sometimes agree with that person. And life is about abundance. It's not a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
So don't, what is the biggest issue is competition, comparison, jealousy. When we compare, so don't compare. I keep saying 3 C's that we need to avoid are comparison, criticism, and complaining. If you can stay away from these 3 C's, you'll be happy. And the 3 H's I keep saying we must embrace are hope, hard work, and humility.
Yeah.
The more humble you are, it will be easier, you'll sleep better.
Of course.
And we all have ego. Ego manifests in different ways. I try and be absolutely egoless. Right? But sometimes I know, I expect a certain behavior from certain other people because I have some ego. When I start to analyze myself a little better, rather than analyzing other people, what do I do right? What do I do wrong?
Yeah.
Maybe I started to do it a little later in my life.
Yeah.
And we all are human. We will make mistakes. We are not perfect. Only, Shravan Maas start ho raha hai, only Lord Shiva is. And so is my wife. Except that, all of us are imperfect. Then I must tell you another book, little I loved reading I read it 10 odd years back, called The Gifts of Imperfection by Dr. Brené Brown.
Very interesting. I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah, she's the world's leading researcher on
she's quite famous.
Vulnerability and on women's health and women's shame. She did a lot of research in shame. Why do women feel? So this is it. I don't have final words. I just stay cheerful.
Yeah.
I think अगर आप cheerful रहोगे तो बाकी सब तो हो जाएगा. Cheerful रहने के लिए अगर आपको sun में जाके, by the way, it's proven if you are in the sun, you can always feel low energy.
No doubt about that. No doubt. Very
Second is look after your parents, look after your own health, look after your responsibilities, forgive people in your relationships, look at the positive side, Never give up in relationships, even if there are difficulties, the ones that really matter, that give you happiness.
Yeah.
And also new relationships start if sometimes old relationships, every end is a beginning. So maybe a new relationship comes. So embrace that relationship. I come from a middle-class background, so I see very strong blacks and whites. But as I'm growing older, I'm seeing a little more grays. Yeah, and I think that's okay. So really, and focus on your own life. I think through social media, we focus a lot on other people's lives. We should focus a little bit on and make our real lives richer. Not richer, I'm not talking of money. I'm talking richer in experiences, quality of relationships, in quality of health, in the quality of work you do. Be grateful to people who do something for you.
Yeah.
And there's something could be attention, time, kind word, help in your work. I have people who take my call sometimes, call them 3 times a day. I'm very grateful to them.
Yeah.
I don't have to. They're very busy people. That's why I try and respond to everyone. Because those are the basic things you can do. But I know how to sometimes not give access to some people because they can be overbearing. So, that you'll have to cultivate as you go along. But that's what I would say. And congratulations to you, Ethel. Keep reading books. Books
Thank
are
you
a great
very much,
thing.
Yeah.
And keep, do the things that give you a lot of hope. And I think hope and being joyful and cheerful is really the fuel of life.
Great. Thank you very much, Annurag. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ethel, it's been a pleasure talking to you. God bless you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.